Hello, welcome to another episode of the Seasoning Angels. Stans and myself are going to sit down together with the kids today and we will be talking about money.
Yeah, it's hi everyone. It's very important to teach our children about money. Phil and I, we are now in our 40s, but like no one taught us from our parents' side about money. We had money, we spent money, we saved money, but like to take the time to teach you how money works is something that we didn't have. And so today, we're going to be talking today about borrowing, a very critical thing about money, how we should live within our means.
Yes.
And we're going to start this morning with Olivia. Olivia is going to read for us something from Proverbs 22 and verse 7.
The rich rules over the poor, and the borrower is the slave of the lender.
Excellent.
Proverbs ... 22 ... 7.
Again, good. She says, the rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is the slave to the lender. Let's repeat. The rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is the slave to the lender. Loud. The rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is the slave to the lender.
Proverbs ... 22 ... 7.
Thank you. You will notice, especially here in America, it's easy to become a slave. When you borrow money from somebody, you become their slave. If you borrow money from a friend, you borrow money from anyone, you start to lose your rights to that person.
Yes.
Okay? Now, if you go about to borrow money from people, let's say you borrow money from a friend, and the friend says, hey, Olivia, I want you to come to my party. You cannot say no because you owe them money. So you don't really have your freedom. Because what scripture says that the borrower is slave to what? The lender. Right.
Lender.
Grace, what does it say? The borrower is slave to who?
The
The lender. Don't borrow. When you borrow, you enslave yourself. Now, if you borrow a lot, you will not be able to stay home with your family. You'll be working 2 jobs, 3 jobs, 4 jobs to go pay the bank. So you will not be there to play with daddy or to play with mommy, right? We will not be there to play with you guys. Why? Because we've borrowed so much money. So I am talking to you, my children, as you go through life, never borrow.
It will take
Okay?
10 hours to get home.
Yeah, it will take forever for you to get home because you are working. You're going to have to work overtime. Why? Because you borrowed. So, what is the solution to this? Let's live within our means. Do not borrow something you cannot afford. We don't need to get things we cannot afford. If you look at something you cannot pay for, you know what? Go work and then pay for it. Pay cash for the things you need, okay?
Yes.
Do you guys know my age?
Yes.
Okay.
42.
42. Okay, she says I'm 42. You know my age, right? Good.
45, 40.
No, I'm 42.
Her age is 42.
Yes, mommy and I are 42 years old.
Yes.
Now, since I've been young, I have never borrowed till today. At 42. Never. I've never gone to anybody and said, please give me money. I'm going to give you back. And I was not rich.
And the same with me.
And the same with you. I'll let you say that yourself.
Yeah, I've also never gone to people and said, can I please borrow money? Can you please do this? Can I please have this? Because we just have to work for our money or just don't get it.
What if
Yeah.
Don't have
someone
it.
gives us something when we don't need it?
Well, if somebody gives you something that you don't need, that's a gift. And it's not bad. You can take
It's
gifts.
not bad to take gifts.
Yeah. Sometimes people will be in a hard situation where they need to borrow. And that's not bad. They might want to borrow and then they can pay it back. But the optimal situation is to not borrow. Don't borrow. When you borrow money from a friend, you become their slave. When you borrow money from the bank, you become the bank's slave. For example, we see when we borrow anything from the Bank of America or credit cards in America. Well, I've never borrowed from a human, but I have had credit cards, and which is also another form of borrowing, which is not good. So when you borrow from the bank, every month end, they say, Olivia, are you going to bring back the money? Grace, are you going to pay the money? You're going to try to pay, right? If you don't have the money, they're going to report you to the credit bureau. They're going to ruin your credit, and you're not going to be able to afford for anything. When you borrow, you become poor and poor.
Yes.
When you borrow, it means you are using your money to buy something today when you should have used it for your future. You've given your future in exchange of your present. Okay?
Learn how
So,
to save money.
yes, say it again louder, son.
Learn how to save money.
Learn how to save money. don't borrow. Let's say it together. Do not borrow.
Do not borrow.
Again, why, Olivia?
It's because if you borrow, you could be a slave, then lose all your money and lose all your jobs.
Yeah, it's true. You could lose even your house when you borrow.
Because
So-
you're always so stressed.
You're always so stressed. Always so stressed. Live within your means. Live within your means. Now, let me talk to you guys. Let's say
If you don't
Olivia.
have the money, if you don't have the money, don't be buying Mercedes-Benz, BMWs, fancy, expensive cars that you don't have money to pay for them. You need to be buying things. If you have money, spend it frugality, and don't spend it on useless things.
Yeah, sometimes it could be cars. Cars can enslave us. We go to the dealership, we get this expensive car. Now we are stuck with payments month after month after month. And after 6 months, that perfume of new perfume is gone. Yeah, James, you talked about what? Go ahead. Sit up properly and talk. Yeah, mortgage is also. Sometimes you can borrow too much of a mortgage. You have this big house, it's $1 million. Now you have to work 4 jobs to pay your $500,000 to $1 million house. And so that's not any good to you.
And sometimes when you have that kind of stress, you don't have good sleep.
Oh, you never have good sleep. And when you borrow so much, you get so stressed. And then when your children ask you anything, you start shouting at them. When your wife asks you for anything, you shout at them. For everything, you get really stressed and then you explode it to those around you. So now let's say the final words. I will be content
I will be content
with what I have.
with what I have.
Say it again. I will be content
I will be content
with what I have.
With what I have.
Yes, I will be content with what I have.
I'll be content with what I have.
Yes, I will not borrow
I will
not borrow.
because I don't want to be a slave to anyone.
Because I don't want to be
Yeah, the borrower is the slave to the lender. When you owe money to someone, when he says something that's not even funny, you laugh and then you smile just because you're their slave. Anyway, thank you so much for watching.
The rich rules over the poor and the rich rules over the poor and the borrower is the slave of the lender.
Oh,
Proverbs 22:7. And if you don't do if you do that, you are going to be poor.
That's right, you're going to be poor.
And then you won't have a good life to spend
Yes,
with
Olivia.
your children.
That's right, especially if you want a quality life with your kids.
Yes.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you so much for watching this video, and we hope you were encouraged and you learned some things. We will talk to you later. Bye.
Thank you.
Say goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Grace, say goodbye.
Bye-bye.
I poop so much.